Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your January 2022 tarot reading. Hope you guys are having a good holiday season, and I hope you have an awesome new year as well. And for those of you who are new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, we have a Celtic spread as always, and I also pulled a couple of Oracle cards and a Mudra card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have the South Node, and actually the South Node's wrapping up its transit through your sign, and it's moving into Scorpio. Alright, we have Cancer energy, so for you guys that's actually your 8th house of death, rebirth, intimacy, investments. And there's going to be a full moon in Cancer in January, so it makes sense that would pop up. And we have 2, so 2nd house for you guys, that's Capricorn, and that represents possessions and self-worth. And of course we have the Venus retrograde that's happening there. At the time of recording this, it's just about to start actually, and it will be happening throughout first half of January, maybe a little bit past that. And then we also have obviously the sun will be in there. You have a new moon taking place there, so quite a bit of activity going on in the 2nd house, and also a Mercury retrograde that's going to start in Aquarius but then move back into Capricorn. So plenty of energy going on with your 2nd house, so it makes sense that we see that pop up with the dice as well. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. Main situation position, we have the King of Pentacles, so this is Taurus energy here. And for you guys, that's your 6th house of work, daily routine, health even as well. So seeing this here, it looks like you guys are experiencing some growth and success there. So it looks like your work lives are actually going pretty well. For some of you, this might even be securing some kind of a raise or promotion, or possibly even getting a new job altogether, but it's just at a higher level than where you're currently at. Alright, and the challenge obstacle position, we have the Hermit in reverse. So this could be coming after a time of a lot of reflection, really trying to figure out which direction you want it to take around your work lives and careers, and I feel like this is saying that this month you'll be ready to make that decision. Alright, in the foundation position, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter energy, which is the ruler of your chart. And we also have Judgment in reverse. So I usually view this as Scorpio energy. But seeing these two cards together, I feel like this is saying that you're going to be continuing to move forward and not necessarily going back to the past. As far as Jupiter itself, it's actually going to be moving into Pisces, and it'll be there throughout January as well. So could just be representing a shift as far as that goes. Maybe possibly looking toward physically moving to a different environment as well. Alright, in the past position we have the Ace of Swords. So this could represent some sudden insights that might have come through for you guys. Now for some of you this might have happened around the new moon that took place in your sign, given that that was an eclipse. Certainly a possibility. And even though this is in a past position and we haven't had the Gemini full moon at the time of recording this, it's about to happen in a couple days. Could just be pointing to that as well, saying that maybe around the time of that full moon you might have gotten some insight around the situation too. But yeah, it looks like you got some clarity from some type of transit there. Alright, in the present position we have the Page of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. So for some of you, that Ace of Swords moment could have pushed you to take some action, and possibly around a financial situation. So maybe you got an idea, right? You had an idea of what to do regarding your finances. And for some of you, this might have pointed to expansion. So for some of you, like I said, you might be leaving one job behind for another, right? Where it would put you at a higher level than where you're at your current job. For others of you, you might be expanding your business. So let's say you have like a small business of some kind, right? Where you offered locally. Now you could be considering expanding that, offering it on the internet, so then you have a far broader customer base, right? Just a few different ways that could be playing out. For some of you, again, like I was saying, there could even be a desire to move to a new environment too, to get some opportunities for you. Alright, and I do have to mention too, this could even be pointing to the fact that we just had Mars move into your sign. So this is an Aries energy. Aries is ruled by Mars, so could just be pointing to that as well. All right, in the near future position, we have the Ten of Cups, Pisces energy, and the King of Swords, Aquarius energy. So, for you guys, Pisces energy is your fourth house, and like I said, I'm getting a vibe here that you guys might be moving soon. And with the King of Swords here, this could just be saying that you might actually finally be discussing that process. So, for example, this could represent a real estate agent, right, or whoever you have that you have to get things secured as far as loans, things along those lines. I feel like this is you actually making a decision. Maybe you find a place that you really would find ideal to move to. So you can start getting that ball rolling as far as discussions around that. And that would make sense as well, because like I said, we're going to have that Mercury retrograde that starts out in Aquarius. So that's your house communication. So yeah, you could just be saying, okay, thought about where I'd like to move, right? Looked at some opportunities. Maybe you get to a place, and really what that could even say is for some of you, let's say it is around a job thing, right? You might even stay with the same job you've had, but realize that, or rather the same career path you've had, or I should say, but you realize that in another area, it might pay far better to do the same work. So that's another way it could be playing out too. All right. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have Temperance, which is the major arcana card for your sign. The Nine of Wands, so more Sagittarius energy there, and Eight of Wands. So all Sagittarius energies here. Now, seeing this, for one, it points to balance to a certain extent, but seeing the Nine of Wands with the Eight of Wands, I feel like this is saying you're actually finding a way to maintain that balance between, okay, I'm going to go, I'm going to take action, I'm going to do the thing, but also having a little bit of discernment, right? So not just jumping into things. So I feel like you're trying to find that balance to where you don't want to necessarily get paralyzed by analyzing situations, right? But at the same time, you don't want to just jump into everything every opportunity you see. So I feel like that's primarily what it's saying for you guys. And I also see, if anything, that you're moving a little bit more toward the action-oriented side if you have been giving this a lot of thought already. All right. In the environment position, we have the Strength card, which is the major arcana card for Leo. Three of Wands, Aries energy, and Four of Wands, more Aries energy here. So quite a bit of Aries energy in the spread. We have the Two of Wands there. Now we see the 3 and 4. So you got all the minor arcana Aries energies. But yeah, seeing these three, I feel like this is saying, for a lot of you, this is around moving, because I'm seeing that house in the background, right? So I'm thinking of that kind of, and the Three of Wands, maybe waiting to hear some news around the situation, right? And with that Strength card there representing trying to keep it under wraps, right? So maybe you have all the ideas going. Like I said, you might have started initiating conversations with whoever that you need to actually make it physically happen in reality. But now, until you actually get final word that yes, this is definitely going to happen, this could just be saying that this could be you guys holding back from speaking on it, right? And for a lot of you, I feel like this is saying if it is a move, it'd be a pretty significant one too. So I don't think you're going to be moving, from one side of town to the next. I feel like it's a much more significant thing than that. But yeah, so that's what I'm seeing there primarily. It could just be saying you're waiting on the news of, hey, am I going to get approval for whatever I need, right? Things along those lines. If you made an offer on the house, is this person going to accept, right? Things along those lines. So that's what I see with that. This could represent the energy of another person, sure, but for whatever reason, I'm really picking up on this even more so than some of the other readings, that this is primarily focused on your energy. But if this is someone else, this could just be saying that they might be keeping some things under wraps too, possibly around some successes that they're experiencing as well. So, interestingly enough, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So, this isn't necessarily an energy that would point to a hope for me. So, feeling for a lot of you, this might be a fear. And for some of you, there could be a bit of fear around that situation, right? So, let's say if this is moving from one career to another, or one job to another, you might have been at the one you're at now for 7 years, right? So that's a pretty significant move to make. So it could just be saying that you might be having that moment of reflection there and thinking to yourself, okay, do I want to do this? Or like I said, for those of you where you're still going to stick with the same career path, but maybe you're going to a place that pays a little better, or maybe a slight jump, you might even be reflecting on if that's still the same path you want to stay on. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Tower. and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So, seems like a pretty drastic shift in energy here, but what I'm seeing with this is, well, a few different things. If this is you leaving one job for another, right, which you mentioned that possibility, this could represent the impact it would have on them, right? So especially if you're trying to keep everything on the wraps and you haven't really let them know that, hey, I'm looking for another job, right? And then you just spring it on them, hey, by the way, I'm out here in 2 weeks, something like that, right? So it could just be pointing to that energy where it might throw that work environment out of whack. But I do have to say, for some of you as well, it looks like you're already in the right energy to do this from what I'm seeing, because like I said, it looks like you're keeping things under wraps, right? You're taking a balanced, measured approach. But what I would say with this combination is, worst case, just make sure that whatever this situation is, that you get what you're trying to do in writing. So what I mean by that is, okay, since I've been mentioning the moving option quite a bit, we'll go with that. Let's say that you go through the process and you're talking with whoever you need to talk with, and they're like, yeah, you should be able to move on January 15th, right? And then all of a sudden there's some kind of delays that come up, and then all of a sudden they say to you, oh, actually we have to push it back to February 15th, right? So it could just be one of those situations where I don't feel like the deal would completely fall to shambles, but it could just be one of those things where you might find that, hey, whatever you're waiting on, there might be some delays around that now. And then if you don't factor that in, then that could cause more of a tower moment for you, right? Where if they say to you, yeah, we think you should be able to move by January 15th, and then you completely ditch your other place, and then you're ready to go for the 15th, and then they say, oh, actually, wait, it's going to take another month. So that's kind of how I see the energy playing out there, which is to say, just be cautious and make sure you have it in writing, right? So if you're talking to someone with that King of Swords, right, could be as simple as that, to say, okay, it's one thing for them to tell you, oh yeah, you should be able to do this by this date, but try to get it in writing so that you actually have the support if they do try to come around and say, oh, actually, wait a minute, we have to push it back another month or something like that. So that's what I'm seeing there. Especially given that you guys have the Wheel of Fortune in the foundation, I feel like this is saying that you're still going to get that forward movement for sure, but between seeing that in the outcome and then also the fact that I mentioned we have the Venus retrograde and then the Mercury retrograde that'll be happening around the middle of January, could cause delays. So just be on the lookout for that. Bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. So this is Capricorn energy here, which does represent your second house of finances too. And like we said, we saw that come up in your dice. So certainly makes sense there'd be a lot of focus there. So whatever this is, I don't feel like it would be a big loss for you guys either, especially even if we consider the fact that you guys are in the King of Pentacles in the main situation. This would point to more of a setback than anything. So I don't think it's going to be like a big issue, just more of a delay time-wise. All right, moving on to your oracle cards, we have Don't Take Anything Personally. All right, there's the artwork, and it says Embrace Your Freedom. Very much a Sagittarius energy, right? So there we go. It says you gain a huge amount of freedom when you take nothing personally. No spell can affect you regardless of how strong it may be. And if you live without fear, if you love, you will be happy with your life. So hopefully that message resonates with you guys. It tends to be an energy you guys embrace quite a bit anyway, I feel, for the most part. But for some of you, that might say that you might have lost that a bit, right? And with this Temperance card, now you're coming back to that energy, right? Of maybe being restricted a bit to a bit more freedom-oriented. All right. Next, we have Deep Knowing. There's the artwork, and the number is 43. Okay, it says intuition, listening to the oracle within, empathy, hypersensitivity. The oracle's message. Intuition is the faculty that allows you to enter into a dialogue with Source, the consciousness that you are a part of but cannot see with the naked eye. It's perplexing that people are taught to ignore this natural capacity to navigate their journeys to access their inner guidance. Know that you have an ability to read between the lines and find all the truth that was missing when the story was told. This deep knowing allows you to open the door to wisdom far greater than what is available in the limitations of human experience. You're given information that may make no sense whatsoever to the logical mind or five senses, but which is 100% correct and true. The trick is to listen and then to act accordingly. You're now invited into the sacred dialogue of deep knowing, So tune in and trust your vibes, they will be right. Ask and you will receive answers from unusual sources. So interesting message there, because that makes me think of the fact that I was saying the South Node, which we did see come up in your dice as well, will be moving into Scorpio, which is your 12th house. So for some of you, you might all of a sudden start getting these intuitive insights that might go back to your far past that you may have lost contact with, but now all of a sudden you might start getting these intuitive hits left and right. So hopefully that resonated with you. All right, the relationship message says there are occasions when you just know deep in your heart and soul that a person is going to play a meaningful role in your life. Someone crosses your path and suddenly, out of the blue, you're connected at a level impossible to describe. That feeling marks a moment in time etched indelibly onto your soul. Someone has entered your life who will be instrumental in your journey, so pay attention. Two hearts are calling to each other to begin an alchemical process. This is also a sign that your intuition about this person you care about is correct. Trust your heart to lead you now. Magic is about to happen. So, pretty positive message there as well. And like I said, I didn't get a huge relationship vibe here. But if this is with someone else, like I said, with that strength energy, looks like they might actually be holding back some feelings on their side as well. But it looks like there is definitely openness and a willingness to participate in a relationship. All right, the prosperity message says this is a time when your hunches will pay large dividends. If you listen to them, take the risk, and act. Within you there is an oracular consciousness, a higher and deeper knowing that transcends the machinations of the thinking mind. At the deep level of your intuitive senses, you have an access point to the genius of the collective, the energies of all thinkers and creators, all inventors and leaders, and all that you need in order to leap into success are available to tune into. This is an act of listening intently. Past the busy mind, your genius awaits. So yeah, pretty positive message there as well. Hopefully that resonated. And lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. So this is your mudra here. It's the Yana Mudra. The keyword for it is wisdom. Okay, it doesn't like we could fit everything in the frame. Oh no, actually we can. So if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say, you can. But under benefits, it says evokes the feeling of lightness, calms the mind and brightens the spirit, opens the chest and facilitates diaphragmatic breathing, reverses the outward flow of prana and directs energy back toward the body, increasing the benefits of any asana. So, if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name of it in the description of the video as always. Once again, I hope you guys are having a good holiday season. I hope you have a happy new year, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.